Hello and welcome to the latest Oh No 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 special bonus episode outside of our usual schedule. I am Duncan Cameron, and tonight we are going to find out a little bit more about the Raith Rovers Community Foundation, why it exists and what it does. And to help us do that, we have got two fine, upstanding gents. So first of all, we've got the General Manager of the Community Foundation. We've got JJ Henderson. How are you, JJ?
Hi, Duncan. Thank you very much for having us.
Not at all. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we also have the Emotional Wellbeing Officer, and more importantly, your friend and mine. We've got Kevin Barretto. How are you, Kev?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Duncan. Thanks very much for that. Cheers.
Just delighted to have you back, mate. It's been a while.
Cheers.
One of the originals for this podcast.
Yeah. Just on that, the last time I was on, I was basically singing the praises of Ian Murray. So I'll definitely not be making any predictions tonight, anyway.
That makes it sound like it was like ages ago, and it was like 3 months ago. Right, JJ, let me start you with an easy question, mate. What is the Raith Rovers Community Foundation?
Great first question. So the Raith Rovers Community Foundation sits separate to the club. We obviously use the club's branding. We are the charitable arm, if you like, of the football club. So we see ourselves being the football club in the community, if you want a short version of it. Our aim is to empower our community and provide as much opportunity as we can. We sit under the football club and try and run across four main pillars. The club brand is one. The other four are through participation, health, employability, and who am I missing, Kev? Education, that Kev will touch a bit more on. So our main focus is those four aspects of Kirkcaldy and where we fit in them. We partner with local authorities, and also what we've started to find now is local businesses coming on board, which has been really, really fantastic for ourselves and trying to get our name out there. And yeah, I think we just try and make as much of a positive impact as we can in our local community.
Good stuff. Certainly a very good mission to have. Nice intention behind it for sure. And General Manager, I mean, you're running the show.
Yes, I've been with the foundation for 5 years, so I got involved with Paul Gregg, who was the first person who introduced me to a community foundation, to be honest, and the roles within it. And I feel like it's kind of landed on me 5 years later. What's happened in between then, it has been a real steady growth. The first couple of years were really, really fantastic. We'd won a national award. There was literally nothing. And now what we've seen is a huge growth, and we've sustained that. Our next aim over the next 3 years is that next part of our growth, and people like Kevin and Rose, created like Kevin's, coming into play and really taking action.
Excellent. And Kev, I mean, what is your role? What position do you fill?
Okay, well, it's quite funny actually, Duncan. To be honest, I'm making it up as I go along, but obviously running it past JJ. But I've worked in mental health services, mainly in crisis services for a good number of years, and I took early retirement. And but one of the things that I've seen over the years is that there are more and more people, especially since COVID, experiencing mental health crises for whatever reason, whether it's due to poverty, like dealing with life events, whatever, and that there are a lot of young people, in particular, I've noticed that have been experiencing more severe mental health problems. So I had, while I'd actually been working for the council, been trying to do more preventative work, but because of finances, basically, it hadn't happened. So I got in contact with JJ, and he's basically given me free rein to do more promoting of positive mental health, helping people, particularly youngsters, to develop emotional resilience, so they're able to deal with life traumas and events, that kind of stuff. So that's in a nutshell what I'm trying to do initially, like I say, particularly trying to work with youngsters and the high schools in Kirkcaldy, but also through the links I've had in my social work career, hopefully working over time with the likes of the Cottage Centre and his Man Club. Fun enough that you've been advertising, and Sam H, various other organisations, but basically conscious more than anything else that at a time where funding is an issue for most organisations, if we work together in partnership with organisations, we're more able to achieve. So that's it.
I suppose it's a kind of a sort of meeting people where they live kind of idea behind that. So you use the word preventative there. So rather than it being, a place where people can go, it's about being where people are coming anyway, I suppose.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. I think that's the power of football. I think across the Scottish game and the Trust, I think that's what they talk about, the real effect that football can have. And we get a captive audience that some of these organisations don't have, and some people shy away from going and meeting them. Whereas if they turn up to the local football stadium or local charity group that's going on, whether it be a walking group, a reminiscing group, or a football group, or a session, they actually find comfort in it. And if we can be that first step to get them through the door and open up those conversations, then the partnerships are there to be made. And that's where the strength of the power of football lies.
Definitely. So it's kind of an entry point, I suppose, as much as anything. And then, you and I suppose, taking that, obviously you've got the entry point of the football club. And is it really a case of JJ just trying to do good where you can, taking whatever opportunity you can to do the most good?
I think the world and our demographic changes. I think we can be quite reactive to things in the local community. So I think mental health is quite a big topic just now, especially in Kirkcaldy and Fife. So making those steps to bring Kev in and support his role as much as he's supporting us is a step that, again, wasn't something was in our plan, but it's a need and it's something that we're delighted to have. We do try and stick within the pillars that I did mention. So when we're looking for our partners and looking for those programmes that we can go and deliver and feel we can bring value to, we will stick with them. But I think the organisations that we're a part of, I think they're ever changing. I think there's a need that constantly evolves, and again, we've got to be aware of that, but we've also got to be aware of where our strengths lie and where we see ourselves supporting, and that's where partnership working is so key, where if we can bring in experts from other fields, then we absolutely will do that.
Excellent. And in terms of the relationship between the football club and the foundation, you said obviously that you've got that underpin of the ability to use the brand, but what's the nature of that relationship and how much independence, I suppose, is there for you guys?
The fancy one, we obviously sit under, we've got our own board, which we have to have a representative from the football club on. So there is that crossover at all times, so they're aware of what's going on, and we all obviously have a good working relationship. There is things that I've strengthened in the last 2-3 years, which has been fantastic. Probably in the last year more than any. I think you see the connection. If we talk about, it'll mostly be football fans that maybe watch this, you see the connection of the community club and the steps taken there. That a young kid of Kirkcaldy has got his first professional contract, in and out the first team, now finding himself going on loan. Those are the kind of things that we maybe talk from a football side. But we use Starks Park daily. We use the spaces within the stadium daily. What's been good is the staff at the football club understand what we do. There is a lot of familiar faces, and those relationships have been really, really pivotal, and make sure that we can get the support that we need at times that we need it. Again, football clubs, I couldn't imagine working in football some days, but what's really positive is that heartbeat of Starks Park and the understanding behind that. And again, we hopefully see ourselves at the forefront of that. So, a lot of positive to take from it.
Good. And just, you mentioned the community club there. Sorry, a lot of these questions just me not knowing stuff.
Yeah, no.
It's just like basic definitions. So the community club, is that sort of a subset of the foundation? Is that the kind of specific football?
Yeah, that's our
part of it.
Yeah. So they sit alongside or underneath. Again, Wayne Carroll, who's the chair of our community club, sits on our board. So again, that working relationship is really, really strong. The work just now between the football club and the community club there's a lot of positives to go towards John Potter with that. We've been really, really fortunate at the football club. Have provided opportunities in our local area that haven't been seen or are able to undertake in other areas. We've had managers come down taking CPDs, we've had technical directors come in, we've had players engaging with us, and that's what we want to see. We want for the young kids to aspire to be that. And I'll be honest, it's maybe not just as a footballing role, it's in life. They see that on their doorstep, they see the football club and they want to get involved. Now that may be through ourselves coaching, that might be engaging with Kev, and next minute you're a season ticket holder and you come because that's a club that does good. These are the things that we want to fit for everyone.
Excellent. And so, Kev, do your support of that, does that kind of wrap around the sort of the community club then?
Well, I actually haven't had any direct dealings with the community club, mainly because I don't know anything about football. I've
joined the club, mate.
Well, no, not at all. I've been learning everything from the podcast, funny enough. But no, funny enough, when what's his name? Neil Collins, blimey, that was a long time ago. When he was around, he did a session with the community club, and I attended that, which was good actually. Basically, getting the youngsters to practice drills and all that kind of stuff with the various managers of the clubs. My involvement has been more on the I suppose the you belong type of side of things. That people who otherwise would be probably disadvantaged because of whatever circumstances, poverty, whatever, aren't able to attend matches. I'm linking in with for example, had a fellow from Five Young Carers come along to the Partick game. So I mean, he and his pal quite enjoyed themselves. Had a pie. Saw a cracking game of football, and hopefully we'll go back and tell their workers and peers that coming to Rovers is a good thing to do. Has a positive effect on your mental health, and you feel part of something. Just in terms of the football side, I have actually attended a couple of sessions with Dan, one of the paid staff at Viewforth, and I attempted to do a bit of kicking the ball about and passing the ball out, and I was suffering for a couple of days after. So that's definitely not my forte. I'll have a bit of chat and encouraging and all that kind of stuff, but I very much leave the football side and the link with the community club to Dan and Cammy.
Good stuff. Yeah, and apart from your your own, I was going to say lack of ability. That seems a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Setting that aside, you're obviously still kind of relatively new into that world. Is there anything that you've been particularly kind of surprised by, or anything you maybe didn't expect that you've seen within the foundation?
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, again, the whole you belong side of things, I've loved getting involved in some of the activities because I started just around about Christmas time. There was the Community Foundation lunches with mainly people who had various health issues, like older people, and we were doing a bit of waitering and just chatting to people, which was absolutely brilliant. I've got to say, just a wee sell that if anyone's interested in volunteering, you get on with people, you listen to people's stories. The community club, I would say, is a great. The Community Foundation is a great way of getting involved. I mean, I was chatting to. You probably heard of Rose Riley, who played for
won the World
Scotland.
Cup.
Won the World Cup with Italy. I was chatting to a woman at one of the lunches who could have been a professional footballer, but decided to become a PE teacher. So it's connecting, listening to stories. Things like delivering Christmas hampers and stuff as well. It was brilliant. I mean, again, chatting to people, not all Rovers fans, I have to say. There was some community calendars, which a lot of them are out of date because half of the team have left. Even chatting to a couple who said that they're Aston Villa fans, so that they'll give the calendar away. But still, just having a bit of banter and making that connection, that for me has been the biggest plus. When you're retired, you've got a bit of time on your hands. After you've been working for all those years, it's like giving you a bit of purpose. So that's I would say been a bit of a nice surprise, but a real positive, that whole being able to engage with people in a very different way to what I was doing when I was working, mainly because people don't really like social workers, but that's another matter. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fair play, yeah. Waiters, slightly more favourably looked on, I think.
Definitely.
JJ, you mentioned before about sort of the next 3 years. Obviously, you've got plans in place, things you'd like to do, things you'd ideally love to do. What's on the runway? Where do you want to see the things go from here?
So, in terms of the next 3 years, it'll be really, really interesting and hopefully positive for ourselves. I think for us as a foundation, the key is having those expertise in the pillars that we deliver. We've got a really, really strong small team, which are probably overworked at times, and again, that's credit to them for their own do good, if you like, factor about them, because we want to make a real difference. For me, if we can expand our team to have those individuals that bring a real knowledge to those pillars and how we grow, it was really interesting. Some of the things we've learned as well is people think of Raith Rovers and it's a straight footballing mindset, whereas if you flip the other two words that you come in, it's a community foundation. And that word community, what does the community need? They maybe don't need a football coach. What do they need? And one of the things that we've reflected on is they do need someone like Kevin, who does it really, really well. So I will speak highly of him. But in terms of our partners, for me, employability and education is massive. how do we look at these programs to go and focus on areas within our education of the local high schools, local primary schools, to bring those qualities. Again, it's those maybe outdoor learners, or things like that. We've had groups down at the stadium. Kirkcaldy West is a great partner for us. They done some of their maths lessons within Starks Park. Again, we want to be an open door, but there's no reason that our community foundation and the way we look couldn't be someone that does that. I know that's a bit further down the line for us, but again, those goals and aspirations are there. I think there is. I think what's key is there is a real base to go and grow. I think we're well established in what we do, but I think there's probably new directions that we can take, which we are looking to explore just now, which is exciting. I think from the summer onwards, we'll have probably a new strategic plan in place that again, I'll be out and for everybody to see. So I think that's one key message to take from here, is that if people, again, similar to the questions you're asking, don't know, then we're an open book. We want people to engage with us. We want people to see the work we're doing. And we want local fans, and it doesn't even have to be a Rover supporter. It can be anyone that's local. We want them on board. We want them to see the real value in what we're bringing. And that's not just on the pitch, that's off it. So again, touched on Kevin, it might not be volunteering, it might be other ways. We'd spoke before we jumped on it. Again, fundraising's a big thing for organisations like yourself, and if you see someone that, or know someone that is into that kind of thing, then again, we're an open door. We would love to get involved, because ultimately that's the way that we make a difference in our community, by having things in place and have funding in place, and initiatives and programmes that are there for the long haul.
So it's really interesting the way you talk about that, and the specifics. You talked about your pillars at the beginning, about employability and education, because again, it's my own ignorance. Like, I wouldn't have thought about it in that sense. I would have only thought about it through like a footballing lens, first and foremost. And I suppose it cuts both ways, in the sense of, if you're someone who's looking for support in the realms of employability, health, that kind of thing, but also if you've got those skills and are looking for volunteering, that works the same way. You said it yourself. A lot of people sitting at home thinking, like, I don't need a football coach, and I certainly cannot coach football, but I might have skills in the realm of, as you say, employability. That might be something that someone can bring to the table. It's a really interesting. It's an angle that, as I say, I wouldn't have thought about before, but that's where a lot of the value lives. Yeah,
and I think Kevin's involvement's probably the real life experience of that. Kevin, during lockdown, engaged with myself on a call, and I was only doing the calls, to be truthful, when I was furloughed. I'd been kept on, and it was through the community club to support my role. Totally winged it like the rest of the world. And Kevin jumped on one of your calls one morning just to see what it was. I don't know if it was social media that grabbed him to it. And from that, it was when he seen the impact that was going on, it stuck with him, and that's what drew him back in. And I'm sure there'll be other people that are probably thinking they see 100 plus kids on a Wednesday night for an hour, and it's the foundation, social media, and brilliant. Like, we've got these up and coming footballers, but there's loads of other sides to it.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that's really interesting. And one of these other angles, and again, JJ, you touched on this already, but Kev, you've been out kind of visiting schools as well, I believe. How did that go?
Yeah, well, it was brilliant. Actually, it was with Dan. I went to KHS, went along to a couple of sessions, and it was engaging with young people who've had experience of being in care settings. So quite often, what would have experienced various life difficulties and challenges, often struggling to concentrate in school and stuff. But it's that whole thing that JJ mentioned earlier about the brand and not necessarily wanting to engage with a teacher, but because you've got the Rovers badge, it's like, oh right, they'll go along to a game, like shout a bit, and play a bit of football, but also hopefully learn some life skills and coping mechanisms, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it was brilliant. It's funny, Duncan, because I've done training for consultant psychiatrists and junior doctors and all that kind of stuff, which has been fine. but actually, it's a lot more challenging trying to engage with youngsters from S2 and 3 who are much more interested in checking what's on YouTube or whatever it is than listening to some old boy talking about I don't know, emotional well-being or how to deal with social media and stuff. Actually, just on that point, as you might remember, I'm absolutely rubbish where it comes to anything to do with computers. So I left the computer side of stuff to Dan, who basically knows the difference between WhatsApp and Snapchat, which I struggle with. So. Yeah, so it's that linking with schools, but actually, I thought JJ might mention. So just jump in, JJ. You might have seen on social media either yesterday or a couple of days ago that Dunfermline and Rovers had a get together with some organisations and the police at Petrivi, and it was. It's funny. I was looking at some of the comments on social media, and it's like woke pish or whatever, which I kind of get because at the end of the day, like Rovers hate the Townies, Townies hate Rovers. So the idea of getting together, like having joint sessions, enjoying a bit of pizza, Jamie Gullen and dare I say Matty Todd come along, meeting with the lads. It's a completely different way of working. Whereas football's so tribal, and it's that whole you must support your team and hate everyone else. It's the schools and hopefully again as JJ was talking about, what we're looking to develop over the next year or so is how we work together with other clubs, not just Dunfermline but East Fife, Kelty, Glenrothes, St Andrews, whatever. Again, hopefully to improve the well-being of people in Fife and maybe throughout Scotland. I mean, we've got big plans, and depending on how they go, we might request another attendance on the podcast in 5 years' time or something. But yeah, it's a very much about how we work in partnership, really, as opposed to what the football club. Well, no. I mean, the football club obviously has a lot of partners as well, but wouldn't necessarily be partnering with the Townies, for example.
I was going to describe it as a Trojan horse there. That's maybe slightly, but it's sort of like a foot in the door almost with that kind of thing. Like what I'm thinking is, if Police Scotland turn up at a sports centre and are like, right, kids, get together, we're going to talk to you about what happened at the weekend or whatever. That's very different from Police Scotland and Jamie Gullen and Matty Todd are there. Yeah. It's a kind of foot in the door to then be able to deliver. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's where the key in the partnerships work. I think if you go kind of old-fashioned, and it's you sit them down in a classroom environment and they're coming in and we know what he's done at the weekend, this is what's happened at this match day, why have you done this, do you know what that is? It doesn't work. And that's where, when we put the initiative together, the Rivals United, was the value in what both clubs could bring to Police Scotland and vice versa. And our aim for that was, it wasn't just our aim, it was how we could roll it out across it. Scottish football, because it's not just us. We don't want people thinking that Raith Rovers Dunfermline young kids. It's not that. And the main purpose was to educate. We want them to be aware of what's going on. We don't want them going to football games and not understanding the situations that they might face. And I think that's what they took from the day. Listen, they might still have their opinions on Raith or Dunfermline or the people in front of them, but for me, you're looking at 90% plus understand the result or their actions could take, whether it be at a match day, whether it be on the way to a game or on the way home. So all their actions, there is repercussions, and hopefully now understand that. And they understand that the police are human as well. The ones that they see and think that are telling them off within their schools, there is a bit more of a relationship and rapport there for them. And again, that's through football, and it's bigger than just one ball, 11 players on each side and just running about. So I think that message was really, really good on Monday. Although I have had a bit of stick for being on STV the last week, which hasn't been great. So we'll get over that, Kev.
Do you find that for sort of initiatives like that you get a lot of buy-in from players from the first team? Yeah.
I think it was. Listen, we were probably hated on the day. We were meant to come up with 2 players, and ended up with 4. And that was the guys knew what they were going to and the value within it. Again, the things we've never been told no. I can hand on heart and say that we've never been told no for a request. To understand the working environment and the schedule of the players. So again, we've never been unreasonable, but we've never ever had anything in terms of from the football club or anyone involved saying that doesn't work for us, or we're not. That they're there to support, and they'll move things to get involved if they know what's going on, which is a real positive. I know that's not the case everywhere, so I will speak highly of them on that regard.
Good stuff. Definitely, it's very very good to hear. In terms of what we said before, if people are listening and they're thinking about, I'd love to get involved, or I don't necessarily have the time to get involved myself, but I want to kind of support the good things that I'm hearing. What's sort of available? Where can people find out more?
So through the club website is probably the biggest one. It's the jot forms I believe they can put in. We've got our own social media if they wanted to have a scroll and a look. We've all got Raith Rovers emails, which is attached to most things, so we are quite contactable. One thing I would say as well is, as much as we want people involved with us, we have had it previously that people maybe ask what we can support with a family member or someone they know or themselves. Again, those are things, if they think there's probably nothing for me, please ask the question. Because it might not be us that we can provide something, but there'll be something going on in the local area that our partners, again, that we can involve them. Again, we don't mind being that stepping stone and that link to a better environment for someone. So I would say that probably the biggest one, and a wee sell for the website there, because they'll get a look at what's going on, but probably if they want to go through a jot form, or again, social media is such a big thing. Our email addresses are usually attached to most things, so please get in contact.
Fantastic. And in terms of kind of fundraising, sponsorship, that side of things, that all on there as well?
Yeah, so there is the option on the website for that sort of stuff. We've created our own handouts, if you like. We've tried to make it as professional as we can be. We're trying to sell ourselves a bit more, which we probably undersell at the moment. So again, it might be, if you want to reach out and see that, we will start putting things on our social media that are pinned, so people can go on, see who we are, what we do, and then maybe even the value of what we can maybe bring to an organisation that want to get involved in the local community and see that real impact. So we'll try and make it as easy as possible for people to find us.
Yeah, can I just mention on that, actually, a quick shout out to Stevie Gray and the supporters bus who raised £300, which he kindly donated to the foundation, which will be helping with kids attending matches, with other activities. Again, JJ obviously has some more contact with Rovers down south who regularly make a donation, and where like I was saying earlier, that like funding is a big issue for every organisation. Like the thing that hopefully people will see, like if they do, I don't know, raise some money for the foundation, they'll see that it's directly helping the people of Kirkcaldy, well, whether it's vulnerable young people, people with mental health problems, older people who are isolated, and that's one thing that, again, I know JJ and the team are trying to publicise a lot more. So it's not just. I mean, it. On the one hand, it might feel, just send your money, like
Yeah.
you know, we know everyone's struggling these days, and you see in the food bank collections that it's a huge invaluable like support for people, but just that if you are thinking of doing sponsored whatever it is, well I'll leave you, JJ, to say what sponsored activities you're wanting to arrange, because
Duncan Kev said that he was going to do some abseiling off the fourth. I can't be on this and not mention them. The guys from Rovers down south have been instrumental in the Community Belong programme. The next two home games, the article from the foundation in Rovers down south will be in that. So there's some statistics from the last 2 years, some from this year. You see the growth and the difference that we've tried to make. And again, these are young fans that hopefully down the line are season ticket holders, and that's the aim of the programme. So that might be something that sells itself in terms of when you see the impact in those numbers. The guys have been brilliant.
Fantastic. And listen, Kev, you mentioned about coming back on in 5 years. I don't think we need to wait as long as that. Very much. Anytime you like this this platform is available to you. More than happy to hear about this. As I say, I've learned a lot, and it really is kind of wider ranging than I'd realised. And I think it sounds incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
And first of all, I wish all of you guys really the best of luck with what you're doing. Thank you for the effort you're putting in as well.
No,
thanks for coming on. Thank you everybody for listening as well. Our regular episodes will appear at some point. As JJ says, anything you need, jump on the website for the Community Foundation. These guys are very easy to find. We found them. So you'll be able to as well. And as I say, thank you for listening. We'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.
Thanks very much. Cheers. See you. Cheers.